At the commencement of the narrative, we are introduced to the central female character, Xiao Jiang, a woman of formidable intellect and drive who serves as the head of the innovative Link company. Her professional passion is a revolutionary dating application named Love and Note, which she has developed with the ambitious goal of becoming China's premier digital matchmaking platform. The app's core promise is to utilize sophisticated algorithms to help individuals find genuine romantic connections. Ironically, while Xiao Jiang has dedicated herself to crafting a tool for love, her own personal life remains conspicuously devoid of it. As the story opens, her phone alarm chimes not for a meeting but to mark a personal milestone, her own birthday. She offers herself a quiet, solitary wish, acknowledging that she has now entered her 30s, yet her status remains stubbornly single. Meanwhile, the buzz surrounding Love and Note is reaching a fever pitch across social media platforms. News segments and online discussions are abuzz with the app's potential to redefine modern dating. In a parallel introduction, the male protagonist makes his entrance. This is Gu Jackson, who arrives at the Link technology company not in a corporate sedan, but astride a powerful superbike, immediately establishing an aura of rebellion and adrenaline. He is, by passion, a professional motorcycle racer. His purpose for visiting is to meet with Xiao Jiang, but he finds her office empty. Undeterred, he makes himself at home in her private cabin to await her return. Elsewhere, Xiao Jiang is preparing for a crucial live broadcast to promote the app. She is joined by Chen Jiang, a celebrated relationship blogger and lifestyle model who serves as the public face for Link Company, and more importantly, is Xiao Jiang's closest confidant. Chen Jiang arrives with significant news. Your former boss Xu Enning is returning to China. This name stirs a complex reaction in Xiao Jiang. Xu Enning is a man for whom she once harbored deep, unrequited feelings. Though a flicker of old emotion stirs within her, she expertly masks it, maintaining a composed facade in front of her friend. Back in the office cabin, Gu Jackson, bored with waiting, begins playing a mobile game. In a moment of clumsiness, one of his wireless earbuds dislodges and rolls behind a sofa. As he bends down to retrieve it, Xiao Jiang enters the room, unaware of his presence. Believing herself to be alone, she stands before a mirror and begins to practice her demeanor, rehearsing how she will conduct herself when she inevitably encounters Xu Enning again. It is a vulnerable, private moment of preparation. Just as she strikes a pose, Gu Jackson rises from behind the sofa, having witnessed the entire performance. He finds the scene unintentionally hilarious. Startled by his sudden appearance, Xiao Jiang is mortified. Gu Jackson introduces himself, revealing he is the son of Ms. Chen, the company's major investor and chairwoman. His father has passed away, and his mother is determined that Gu Jackson abandon his dangerous racing career to assume leadership of the family's business interests within Link Company. Ms. Chen has delegated the formidable task of grooming her rebellious son into a corporate executive to none other than Xiao Jiang. Known for her uncompromising work ethic, Xiao Jiang accepts the challenge with characteristic rigor. She immediately appoints Gu Jackson as her personal assistant, laying down a strict mandate: he will be at her disposal 24 hours a day. From this very first interaction, a fierce competitive dynamic is born. They clash instantly and profoundly, each finding the other intolerably frustrating. The live broadcast commences with Xiao Jiang and Chen Jiang enthusiastically detailing the features of Love and Note to their vast online audience. Gu Jackson, watching from the sidelines, seizes an opportunity to provoke his new boss. He anonymously posts a biting comment on the live stream. How can a woman who is single herself give credible relationship advice to others? Xiao Jiang instantly recognizes the taunt as Gu Jackson's handiwork. Stung but refusing to be undermined, she makes a dramatic, impulsive declaration live on air. To prove the efficacy of my own app, I will find a genuine boyfriend for myself within the next 3 months. The announcement sends shockwaves through the viewers. Xiao Jiang is notoriously particular and has been single for years, making this a seemingly impossible pledge. Seizing the moment to escalate the chaos, Gu Jackson deliberately trips over a power switch, plunging the broadcast into abrupt, silent darkness. Furious at his sabotage, Xiao Jiang summons Gu Jackson to her cabin for a severe reprimand, berating him for undermining months of meticulous preparation. For the first time, Gu Jackson seems to grasp the gravity of his juvenile prank. In a gesture of contrition, he remains at the office long after hours, intending to apologize properly. However, when he receives a call from a friend inviting him out, his resolve wavers. He devises an elaborate scheme to escape. He plunges the entire office floor into darkness, and hiding in the shadows, attempts to scare Xiao Jiang by impersonating a ghost. The plan goes awry, resulting in a clumsy stumble that sends them both tumbling to the floor, and in the chaos their lips accidentally meet. The accidental kiss leaves them both stunned. When Xiao Jiang realizes the ghost is Gu Jackson, her shock turns to fury. As punishment, she orders him to clean the entire office suite from top to bottom. Returning to her apartment that evening, Xiaojiang calls her parents, hoping for some birthday companionship. Both are preoccupied with their own lives and cannot visit, leaving her to celebrate alone. She resigns herself to making a solitary bowl of noodles. Meanwhile, Gu Jackson receives a misdelivered parcel at his own apartment containing an elegant birthday cake. After consuming half of it, he discovers the delivery label shows it was intended for a resident on a different floor. Chagrined, he takes the half-eaten cake downstairs to deliver it to the correct recipient, only to find Xiaojiang opening her door. They stare at each other, once again shocked by the absurd coincidence. Gu Jackson explains he has moved into the building due to its proximity to the company. In a surprising act of kindness, perhaps to atone for the cake, he insists on baking a fresh one for her, allowing her a proper, if unconventional, birthday celebration. The following day at the company, Xiaojiang is visibly stressed. The launch of Love Van Note is imminent, and her public vow to find a partner in 90 days has added immense personal pressure to the professional stakes. During her rounds to monitor employee productivity, she notes Gu Jackson's absence. She calls him, finding him still asleep, and sternly informs him that tardiness will result in salary deductions. She then assigns him and a junior colleague, Young, a daunting task to distribute and collect a large batch of user preference questionnaires. The work proves difficult, as people on the street are reluctant to participate. While Young grows anxious, Gu Jackson employs his charismatic, unconventional approach. He heads to a university campus teeming with students. Using his natural charm and a playful demeanor, he successfully engages the crowd, securing a mountain of completed forms. Young is thoroughly impressed and suggests Gu Jackson report this success to Xiaojiang. When he does, however, Xiaojiang is unmoved by his initiative. Instead, she presents him with a new, even more audacious task. He must assemble 100 eligible bachelors for an exclusive matchmaking event she has dubbed Elite Single Night. Her goal is to find a compatible match from this curated pool. The next morning, Xiaojiang finds Gu Jackson asleep at his desk, exhausted from working late on the questionnaires. She brusquely orders him to continue working without rest. Overwhelmed, Gu Jackson secretly enlists a friend's help to complete the data entry. By evening, the work is done. He then receives a call from an old friend, Kai Hung, and introduces him to Young over video. Kai Hung experiences a jolt of recognition upon seeing Young. They were middle school classmates. After the call, a delighted Kai Hung retrieves an old photo, confirming his memory and sparking a wave of nostalgia. After work, Gu Jackson visits the hospital where his friend and fellow racer, Kong Shi, lies in a coma following a severe track accident. His mother, Ms. Chen, is also there. A tense argument erupts between them, as she pressures him to fully commit to the company and forsake racing. Gu Jackson reveals his true motivation. He is enduring the corporate world only because his mother promised the best medical care for Kong Shi if he complied. He confides in his unconscious friend, burdened by guilt. Believing that if he had raced that day instead of Kong Shi, the accident might never have happened. He vows to honor his friend by winning a major race scheduled in 3 months, a race he promises Kong Shi will witness upon his recovery. At the company, Xiaojiang briefs clients on the upcoming Elite Single Night, extending participation invitations to eligible singles. That evening, she arrives at the lavishly decorated venue. The first person she sees is Gu Jackson, who has cleaned up remarkably well, looking unusually handsome and composed. For a moment, she is caught off guard, simply staring. He approaches, offers a polite compliment, and explains the event's mechanics. Each guest holds a rose to give to someone who catches their interest. He then issues a playful, personal challenge. If Xiaojiang receives more roses than he does, he will grant her any wish. The event commences with singles mingling. Gu Jackson, with his magnetic personality and good looks, quickly garners a bouquet of roses from admiring women. Xiaojiang, however, struggles. Potential suitors review the hobby list on her simulated Love Van Note profile, which includes dry intellectual pursuits, and deem her incompatible, leaving her roseless and disheartened. Seeing her dejection, Gu Jackson quietly slips one of his own roses into her hand, ensuring she doesn't lose their little competition. At that very moment, Xiaojiang spots Xu Enning across the room. Her heart leaps at the unexpected encounter. Gu Jackson joins them and Xiaojiang makes introductions. After a brief conversation with Xu Enning, Gu Jackson drives Xiaojiang home. As he drops her off, his tone turns uncharacteristically earnest. If you're serious about finding someone in 3 months, you need to be more open, he advises. It's not just about having a boyfriend on paper, you need to find real love, and that starts with learning to love yourself. I could help you with that. Xiaojiang, defensive and proud, rebuffs him sharply, insisting he focus solely on learning the business. Gu Jackson counters, revealing his own passion. I don't care about this corporate world. My heart is on the racetrack. I need to win that championship for Kong Shi. He asks her to reconsider his offer, but Xiao Jiang, feeling patronized, grows angry and moves to hit him with her shoe. The heel snaps off, forcing her to retreat in further humiliation. At home, Xiao Jiang reflects on her past with Xu Enning. She had fallen deeply in love with him while working together, but her hopes were shattered when she discovered a photo of another woman on his phone. The heartbreak left her emotionally guarded, dedicating herself solely to her career, a choice that solidified her reputation as a rigid workaholic. Her lingering feelings for him explain her prolonged solitude. We then gain insight into Chen Jiang's seemingly perfect life. She calls her husband, expecting him home for dinner, but receives a text claiming he is stuck in a meeting. Alone, she stages a photo of a beautifully set table, posting it online with the caption, "My husband made this dinner for me." The post garners envious comments praising her perfect marriage. This scene unveils the central hypocrisy of her public persona. While she is the queen of love to her followers, her private reality is a crumbling marriage filled with neglect and loneliness. In a contrasting moment of thoughtfulness, Gu Jackson is seen browsing online for a pair of high heels, intending to replace the one he inadvertently caused Xiao Jiang to break. The next day, Xiao Jiang arrives at her office to find it immaculately cleaned and adorned with a fresh bouquet of flowers. Gu Jackson's silent apology. When he arrives, he proposes a formal bargain. He will dedicate himself to helping her find a suitable partner using his insights and efforts. In exchange, after the 3-month period, she must release him from his contract so he can train for and compete in the championship race. To understand his enigmatic boss better, he seeks out Young. From her, he learns the full story of Xiao Jiang's unrequited love for Xu Enning and the tragic reason for its impossibility. Xu Enning's previous girlfriend had passed away from an illness, and he remains devoted to her memory. Xiao Jiang, out of respect for that lost love and his enduring grief, chose to step away, channeling all her emotional energy into her work. Later, Gu Jackson delivers a mysterious parcel to Xiao Jiang's apartment. Inside is her old high school uniform. The unexpected gift delights her. Gu Jackson explains his reasoning. To reconnect with love, she must first reconnect with her younger, less guarded self. He proposes an unconventional training regimen. She should practice dating with him, a safe pretend scenario to reawaken her romantic instincts. Intrigued and desperate, she agrees. The following day, they both don the school uniforms and visit Xiao Jiang's alma mater. They take nostalgic photos and wander the grounds, observing young couples. Gu Jackson takes her hand and leads her to the school rooftop. There, in a burst of spontaneous theatrics, he shouts into the open air, "I like Xiao Jiang." The declaration, though part of the exercise, surprises her. Their commotion attracts a security guard, forcing them to flee hand in hand, laughing like truant students. As they run, Xiao Jiang notices a tear in the back of Gu Jackson's trousers and bursts into genuine laughter. He grins, shrugging, "At least I made you laugh today." Returning to his apartment that evening, Gu Jackson is ambushed by Li Yan, a persistent acquaintance who unilaterally considers herself his girlfriend. She forces her way into his home, much to his exasperation. Unable to dislodge her, he reluctantly allows her to stay, adding another layer of complication to his life. At the company the next day, during another live broadcast, Gu Jackson observes Chen Jiang closely. Despite her polished smile, he detects a profound sadness beneath her professional facade and mentions his concern to Xiao Jiang. After the broadcast, Xiao Jiang privately confronts her friend. "Is everything okay with your husband?" Chen Jiang initially insists all is well, but her composure cracks when her purse spills, revealing a divorce certificate. Cornered, Chen Jiang confesses the painful truth. Her husband was unfaithful and initiated the divorce. She agreed on one condition, that they maintain a public facade of marital happiness until after the Love Note launch, fearing a scandal would damage her best friend's flagship project. Xiao Jiang is heartbroken for her friend, placing Chen Jiang's well-being far above the app's success and vowing to support her unconditionally. In a lighter subplot, Gu Jackson's friend Kai Hung, having seen Young's online post seeking a roommate, immediately seizes the opportunity. He arrives at her door, reminding her of their collaborative science project in middle school. Young remembers him fondly and agrees to let him move in. Kai Hung is elated. He has carried a torch for Young since their school days and moved to the city precisely to be near her. Meanwhile, Xiao Jiang, furious on Chen Jiang's behalf, concocts a plan for revenge against her friend's estranged husband. Posing as a spa worker, she infiltrates a luxury spa where she believes he is a client. She locates a man sleeping face down in a treatment room, ties his wrists, and begins to harass him, even writing the word jerk on his back with a marker. When the man stirs and reveals his face, she is horrified to discover it is Gu Jackson, not Chen Jiang's husband. Profusely embarrassed, she apologizes and attempts to scrub the ink off his back with a harsh brush, causing him significant discomfort but failing to remove the stain entirely. Later, Gu Jackson encounters a distressed Young at the office. Her roommate has moved out to live with a boyfriend, leaving her unable to afford the full rent. Gu Jackson suggests she advertise for a new roommate online, which leads directly to Kai Hung's fortuitous arrival. Xiao Jiang attends a high society party where she witnesses Xu Enning attending with a new female companion. The sight pierces her heart with a familiar ache. A well-meaning but tactless acquaintance remarks, "You're 30 now, you really should settle down with a good partner." Not wanting to appear pitiable, Xiao Jiang lies impulsively, claiming her boyfriend is on his way to pick her up. She then sends a frantic message to Gu Jackson, begging him to come and play the role of her pretend boyfriend. Emotionally wounded and slightly inebriated, she is being fussed over by Xu Enning when Gu Jackson makes his entrance. He plays his part flawlessly, projecting an air of devoted partnership and extracts her from the awkward situation. Back at her apartment, the emotional dam breaks. Xiao Jiang continues to drink with Gu Jackson, tearfully confessing her pain at seeing Xu Enning with someone else. "You were right about me," she slurs, her defenses down. "I really don't know how to do this, how to be with someone." Exhausted by emotion and alcohol, she finally succumbs to sleep, her head coming to rest gently on Gu Jackson's shoulder, a moment of unexpected peace and vulnerability amidst their chaotic, combative relationship. The following morning dawned with a jolt of panic for Xiao Jiang. She awoke to find Gu Jackson asleep on the sofa beside her, a proximity that sent her into a startled, loud fit of shouting. Her cries roused him, and upon seeing her he broke into unrestrained laughter. The source of his amusement soon became clear. In a state of inebriated mischief the night before, he had used lipstick to draw ridiculous patterns all over her face while she slept. This revelation transformed Xiao Jiang's shock into incandescent fury, and she began hitting him with a pillow, her embarrassment fueling her rage. In a starkly contrasting scene, Chen Jiang was broadcasting a picture-perfect moment on her social media. Her estranged husband was shown presenting her with a lavish bouquet and treating her with exaggerated affection. This, however, was nothing but a carefully staged performance, a contractual act designed to maintain the illusion of their marital bliss and protect both their public images following their secret divorce. Xiao Jiang, her mind reeling from the night's events, messaged Chen Jiang, summoning her for an urgent meeting. When her friend arrived, Xiao Jiang confessed in a flustered whisper, I slept next to Gu Jackson last night." Chen Jiang's eyes widened and she asked the pointed question, "Do you like him?" Xiao Jiang's denial was swift and forceful. "No, absolutely not." Chen Jiang, ever the perceptive relationship expert despite her own troubles, offered gentle wisdom. Feelings can be confusing. Sometimes we only realize what was in our hearts long after the fact. She then offered more practical advice, urging Xiao Jiang to finally seek clarity with Xu Enning. "You saw him with a girl, but that doesn't definitively mean she's his girlfriend. You owe it to yourself and to your peace of mind to talk to him directly and settle things." Meanwhile, Gu Jackson visited the hospital, bringing fresh flowers for his comatose friend Kong Shi. Sitting by the bedside, he found himself confiding in his unconscious companion, speaking aloud thoughts he hadn't fully articulated to himself. "There's this woman at work, Xiao Jiang. She's infuriating, stubborn, and completely impossible, but I think I might be starting to like her." He also updated Kong Shi on their friend Kai Hung's rekindled connection with Jung, expressing a hopeful wish for Kong Shi's recovery so their whole team could be reunited. That hopeful reunion was playing out elsewhere. Kai Hung and Jung shared a meal at a cozy restaurant, their conversation flowing effortlessly as they reminisced about their shared school days, their happiness palpable and uncomplicated. The next day, Xiao Jiang had a scheduled meeting with the formidable Ms. Chen. The chairwoman handed her a client dossier, instructing her to secure a collaboration meeting for the Love and Note app. As the business concluded, Ms. Chen added a casual yet loaded piece of information. "Do take good care of my son, and by the way, his girlfriend has arrived in the city." The words landed with an unexpected weight in Xiao Jiang's chest, a subtle pang of something akin to disappointment that she quickly suppressed, channeling her focus back to her professional duties. Gu Jackson arrived shortly after, and Xiao Jiang, her tone businesslike, handed him the file, tasking him with gathering preliminary research on the potential client. As Gu Jackson glanced at the name on the dossier, his expression shifted to one of shared surprise with Xiao Jiang. The client was none other than Xu Enning. That evening, as Gu Jackson relaxed at home, his phone rang. It was Li Yan announcing she was outside his apartment building and on her way up. Dread filled him. In a flash of inspired desperation, he grabbed his keys and fled his own apartment, seeking refuge in the only place he could think of, Xiao Jiang's unit directly below. He burst in, offering a flimsy excuse about an irritating sister coming to visit whom he desperately wanted to avoid. When Li Yan arrived at his door and found it empty, she eventually left. Xiao Jiang, now an unwilling accomplice, promptly asked Gu Jackson to leave as well. He refused, proposing they use the time for her training. "We should prepare for your date with Xu Enning tomorrow," he declared, adopting a mock-serious tone. He presented her with a book on dating etiquette. As she reached to take it, their fingers brushed. Gu Jackson's gaze sharpened. "Did you feel anything?" he asked, his voice dropping. Xiao Jiang, flustered, lied. "No, nothing," Gu Jackson smirked. "If you want to understand someone's feelings or let them understand yours, a little intentional skin contact is a basic prerequisite. You have to be open to the sensation." The following evening, Xiao Jiang met Xu Enning for their long-awaited dinner date. Seated at an elegant restaurant, she mentally rehearsed all of Gu Jackson's tips but found herself paralyzed, unable to implement any of them. Her phone buzzed incessantly with messages from both Chen Jiang and Gu Jackson demanding updates, which she ignored. With conversation lagging, she defaulted to her comfort zone, discussing the Love and Note project in exhaustive detail. Xu Enning, with gentle patience, finally interrupted her. "Let's just enjoy the meal, Xiao Jiang." Later, as he drove her home, he offered the clarification she had been waiting for. "The woman you saw me with at the party, she's not my girlfriend." The next morning at the office, Gu Jackson ambushed Xiao Jiang, pestering her for details about the date. She reported with clinical detachment, "We discussed the Love and Note app and scheduled a follow-up business meeting." Gu Jackson stared at her aghast. All his coaching, all his efforts to get her to be vulnerable had been completely wasted on a business negotiation. His day took another turn for the worse when office gossip swirled about a new female hire. His curiosity turned to dread when the new employee was revealed to be Li Yan. She had infiltrated his workplace. Cornering him, she issued a venomous ultimatum. "If you try to avoid me here, I'll tell everyone I'm your girlfriend. And I'll also reveal that your mother is the company president, a fact you've been hiding." Trapped, Gu Jackson had no choice but to acquiesce to her presence. Over dinner, Jung mentioned to Kai Hung that a new girl named Li was pursuing Gu Jackson. Recognizing the name, Kai Hung clarified, "Li Yan. She's not his girlfriend, she's a childhood acquaintance he's been trying to shake off for years." Their conversation was cut short by a sudden downpour and they arrived home soaked. Demonstrating his caring nature, Kai Hung prepared hot soup for Jung to ward off a chill, a simple gesture that spoke volumes. At the hospital, a critical development occurred. Kang Shi was scheduled for a crucial brain surgery. When Gu Jackson arrived, the doctor delivered cautiously optimistic news. The surgery was successful, and Kang Shi was out of immediate danger, though he remained unconscious and would require meticulous long-term care. Xiao Jiang prepared for her business meeting with Xu Enning. At the office, Xu Enning arrived early and encountered Li Yan first. He inquired, "If Gu Jackson is your boyfriend, do you work in his company?" Li Yan, weaving her web of deception, replied, "Until he publicly acknowledges me, let's keep that our little secret." When Gu Jackson and Xiao Jiang joined them for the presentation, Gu Jackson, despite the professional setting, found his attention continually drifting toward Xiao Jiang. Xu Enning, observant and intuitive, noticed this focused attention and interpreted it as a challenge. Deciding to reassert his interest, he invited Xiao Jiang to dinner after the meeting. A flicker of jealousy crossed Gu Jackson's features. He had planned to ask Xiao Jiang to a movie. His plans were further derailed when Li Yan appeared, insistently demanding he have dinner with her. After repeated badgering, he reluctantly agreed. Xiao Jiang, overhearing this exchange, felt a sting of her own. So when Gu Jackson later tentatively mentioned the movie, she coolly declined, stating she already had dinner plans with Xu Enning. The dinner with Xu Enning was interrupted by an urgent work call, forcing him to leave abruptly. Not ready to return home, Xiao Jiang decided to go to the movies alone. There in the dim lobby, she spotted Gu Jackson, who had also come alone. Abandoning their separate plans, they decided to go ice skating together instead. For a few hours, the pressures of work and complicated love lives faded away as they laughed and skated, sharing a genuine, unguarded enjoyment in each other's company. A professional crisis emerged the next day. A key member company was threatening to withdraw from the Love and Note partnership, which would incur massive losses. An employee suggested only one person could mediate, the influential Mr. Wang. Xiao Jiang immediately called Xu Enning, asking him to accompany her to meet Mr. Wang. Gu Jackson, overhearing, volunteered to help instead. But first, he had a request. "I need to borrow your car. My girlfriend, Alice, is flying in from the USA and I need to pick her up from the airport." The word girlfriend triggered an unexpected, sharp jealousy in Xiao Jiang. She refused to hand over her keys. Gu Jackson, however, managed to charm them away and insisted she come along. They arrived at a private airfield, not the passenger terminal. There, Gu Jackson led her not to a person but to a stunning, state-of-the-art racing motorcycle. With a proud grin, he patted the machine. Xiao Jiang, meet Alice, my true love. He explained this was the bike he would ride in the championship. When Xiao Jiang asked why winning was so vital, his expression turned solemn. For Kang Shi, he said. He revealed the full extent of his sacrifice. He endured the corporate world solely so his mother would fund the best medical care for his friend. In a lighter moment, he then gave Xiao Jiang an impromptu golf lesson on a nearby green, a skill he claimed was essential for business networking. The next day, Xiao Jiang and Xu Enning met Mr. Wang at a golf course. Before their formal discussion, they played a round. Xiao Jiang, remembering Gu Jackson's tips, executed a surprisingly good shot, impressing Xu Enning. However, she injured her hand in the process. Just as Mr. Wang arrived and challenged her to another round, a challenge she felt unable to refuse, Gu Jackson appeared like a knight in sleek casual wear. He smoothly offered to play in her stead. His skill and confident demeanor won over Mr. Wang, who agreed to support their company. Xiao Jiang watched, a mixture of relief and admiration warming her. Afterward, Gu Jackson tended to her injured hand. You should have said no if you couldn't do it, he chided gently. Xiao Jiang defended herself. I have to do whatever it takes for the company. If the app launch fails, the hard work of my entire team is wasted. As they spoke, a group of children ran by, blowing streams of iridescent bubbles. Xiao Jiang's tense expression softened into a genuine smile as she watched them. Seeing her happy, a quiet contentment settled over Gu Jackson as well. Later, Xiao Jiang confided in Chen Jiang about her conflicted feelings. With Xu Enning, all we talk about is work. It feels sterile, but with Gu Jackson, I feel relaxed. I can be myself even when we're arguing. Chen Jiang smiled knowingly. It sounds like you've already found where your heart feels at home, even if your mind hasn't caught up yet. Xiao Jiang stubbornly denied it. There is nothing between us. That evening, Gu Jackson came to her apartment and convinced her to join him for dinner. Over the meal, Xiao Jiang steered the conversation to Li Yan. With a sigh, Gu Jackson explained their history. She's been a fixture since we were kids and just as persistent. I've rejected her clearly, but she refuses to accept it. Then, in a moment of unguarded honesty, he let slip, I like someone else. His voice trailed off as he looked at her, but he lost his nerve and didn't finish the confession. He quickly changed the subject, asking about her plans. When she mentioned another outing with Xu Enning, that familiar, unacknowledged jealousy tightened his features. The following day, Gu Jackson was at the racetrack practicing with Kai Hung, who critiqued his form, emphasizing the need for more disciplined training. At the office, Xiao Jiang called Mr. Wang's office for a follow-up and received alarming news. The formal collaboration proposal she had entrusted to Gu Jackson a week prior had never arrived. Furious and fearing catastrophic losses, she confronted Gu Jackson, unleashing a torrent of blame. Gu Jackson, already burdened by worry for Kang Shi and his own tangled emotions, absorbed her anger silently, offered a terse apology, and walked away. That night, after the office emptied, Xiao Jiang found Gu Jackson still at his desk, working under the glow of a single lamp. Guilt washed over her. She approached and offered a soft apology for her harsh words earlier. It was a small but significant moment of reconciliation. The next major company meeting saw Gu Jackson taking the lead. He delivered a compelling presentation on the Love and Note launch strategy, proposing a Valentine's Day release for maximum impact. His vision and confidence impressed the entire board, including Xiao Jiang, who felt a surge of pride. Later, under Li Yan's relentless pressure, Gu Jackson agreed to have lunch with her. He was distracted, repeatedly checking his phone and mentioning he needed to get back to work. Li Yan, suspicious, asked, "Since when did you become so devoted to office work?" He offered no answer, eventually extracting himself. Li Yan, however, was undeterred. She dragged him to a florist, insisting he buy her Valentine's Day flowers. While she browsed, Gu Jackson's attention was captured by a small, resilient cactus plant. He purchased it, not for Li Yan but for Xiao Jiang. He presented it to her later, his usual bravado replaced with uncharacteristic nervousness. "You're like this cactus," he managed to say, "tough on the outside but with a hidden warmth and strength." He couldn't bring himself to say more, but Xiao Jiang's delighted smile as she accepted the humble plant was reward enough. Valentine's Day arrived, marking the official launch of Love and Note. In the festive office, Li Yan arrived with homemade chocolates and cookies for Gu Jackson, drawing a crowd of eager colleagues. As Xiao Jiang passed by, Gu Jackson's eyes followed her. He grabbed a cookie, intending to use it as an excuse to talk to her, but Li Yan stopped him. "Don't bother her," she said sweetly, her voice laced with malice. "Someone else has already sent her a much more impressive gift." She revealed that Xu Enning had gifted Xiao Jiang an expensive new laptop. The news, strategically planted by Li Yan herself, dimmed Gu Jackson's spirits. Chen Jiang, meanwhile, was battling her own Valentine's Day demons. Her social media was flooded with messages asking how she would celebrate with her husband. The facade was becoming unbearable. Xiao Jiang found her and offered comfort. When Chen Jiang learned about Xu Ening's gift, she encouraged Xiao Jiang to consider finally moving forward with him. "It's time to start a real relationship," she urged. Taking matters of the heart into his own hands, Gu Jackson sought out the hesitant Kai Hung, who was sitting alone in a restaurant. "Jung likes you too," Gu Jackson told him bluntly. "Today is the day, don't waste this chance." Emboldened, Kai Hung tracked Jung to a concert of her favorite idol. In a grand romantic gesture, he hacked into the venue's display system and with the idol's bemused assistance, projected a heartfelt confession and proposal onto the giant screen. Overwhelmed and joyful, Jung said yes, and they embraced amidst the cheering crowd. Returning home that evening, Xiao Jiang found Gu Jackson already there, helping to take down some promotional banners. In the process, she re-injured her already vulnerable hand. A visit to the doctor confirmed a fracture and she was ordered to complete rest. True to his role as her sometimes reluctant caretaker, Gu Jackson appeared at her apartment to help. He proceeded to make dinner for her. When Xiao Jiang gently tied an apron around him, the simple domesticity of the act sent a wave of quiet happiness through him. They shared the meal he prepared, the atmosphere comfortable and warm. The moment was interrupted by a call from Xu Ening. As Xiao Jiang answered, Gu Jackson began a comical campaign of distraction, talking loudly and playfully interfering so she couldn't converse properly, deriving immense, childish satisfaction from the sabotage. In a parallel storyline, Chen Jiang, drowning her sorrows at a bar, was harassed by a group of men. She was rescued by Wei De, a man she had met briefly before. He safely escorted her home as she was too intoxicated to manage alone. The next day, mortified, Chen Jiang remembered confessing her divorce to Wei De in her drunken state. She rushed to find him, apologizing and begging him to keep her secret. He assured her with quiet integrity that her confidence was safe with him. Back at Xiao Jiang's apartment, Xu Ening paid a visit. As they talked, Gu Jackson inserted himself into the scene and began cooking. Not to be outdone, Xu Ening declared he, too, could cook and took over the kitchen in an attempt to impress Xiao Jiang. Gu Jackson seized this opportunity to keep Xiao Jiang by his side, preventing her from helping Xu Ening, thus maintaining his proximity to her. In her office, Xiao Jiang found herself staring at the cactus Gu Jackson had given her. It had blossomed, a small, unexpected flower appearing amidst the spines. The metaphor was not lost on her. She was deep in thought, agonizing over her true feelings, torn between the safe, familiar admiration for Xu Ening and the chaotic, exhilarating connection with Gu Jackson. She could reach no conclusion. During a girls' dinner with Chen Jiang and Jung, Chen Jiang spoke eloquently about recognizing one's true love. As she listened, Xiao Jiang's mind was not filled with images of Xu Ening, but with a cascade of memories. Bickering with Gu Jackson, skating under the lights, sharing a silent car ride, his nervous smile as he gave her a cactus. The evidence was becoming irrefutable, yet she stubbornly refused to acknowledge what her heart already knew. Meanwhile, Li Yan executed her most potent blackmail yet. She cornered Gu Jackson, threatening to expose his identity as the president's son to the entire company if he did not accompany her to a formal dinner. Faced with the prospect of his carefully maintained low-profile anonymity being shattered, and the professional complications it would cause for Xiao Jiang, he felt the walls closing in. With no viable escape, he was forced to agree to her terms, his resentment simmering beneath a mask of reluctant compliance. Following the triumphant launch of the meticulously developed Love Note application, Xiao Jiang, in a spirit of celebratory gratitude, declared a company-wide vacation. Embarking on the task of planning the details, Li Yan approached Gu Jacon's desk. As she did, her gaze inadvertently fell upon his laptop screen, which displayed a prominent image of Xiao Jiang. In a reaction both swift and telling, Gu Jacon snapped the device shut and made a hurried exit from the vicinity. This abrupt and secretive behavior immediately seeded a cloud of suspicion in Li Yan's mind regarding the nature of the relationship between Gu Jacon and Xiao Jiang. Compelled by her growing doubts, she promptly contacted Shunning to relay her disquieting observation. The subsequent day saw the entire team arriving at the idyllic vacation destination. During a communal boating excursion, Li Yan found herself engaged in a fervent, yet futile, effort to maintain a physical and social distance between Gu Jacon and Xiao Jiang. Her attempts were wholly disregarded, as the pair remained intently focused on one another. Their silent communion was interrupted when Xiao Jiang received a call from Shunning, who revealed he was coincidentally at the same location for a meeting and requested to see her. Meanwhile, Gu Jacon continued his evasive maneuvers around Li Yan. Driven by a desperate ploy to force a moment of intimacy, Li Yan concocted a scheme to deliberately fall into the water, calculating that Gu Jacon would leap to her rescue, thereby creating a bond. However, in a twist of fate, it was Xiao Jiang who lost her balance and tumbled into the water. Demonstrating instinctive and unwavering concern, Gu Jakin immediately dove in, pulled her to safety, and brought her back to the boat. The sight of them together, soaked but connected, pierced Li Yan with a profound sense of bitterness. Seeking to regain control of the situation, Li Yan later called Shunning. She informed him of a scheduled treasure hunt event for that evening and strategically suggested he partner with Xiao Jiang. Her unspoken agenda was to use Shunning as a wedge, ensuring Xiao Jiang remained occupied and away from Gu Jakin. As night fell, the pairs separated as planned, Xiao Jiang with Shunning and Gu Jakin with Li Yan. However, Gu Jakin managed to slip away from Li Yan and went in search of Xiao Jiang. Simultaneously, Xiao Jiang had become accidentally separated from Shunning when he stepped away to fetch her an ice cream. Finding Gu Jakin, she asked to borrow his phone to call Shunning. Gu Jakin, seizing the opportunity, secretly powered off his device and claimed the battery was dead. Thus, the two found themselves alone and embarked on the treasure hunt together, which led them to a desolate and eerie house. Unnerved by the atmosphere, they soon retreated and instead sought solace by a serene riverbank. There, in a moment of tender vulnerability, they shared whispered wishes for each other's happiness. Their return journey saw them walking hand in hand, a picture of nascent connection only to be discovered in this intimate stance by a searching Li Yan and Shunning. The moment shattered, and the two were forced to separate once more. Upon returning to the hotel, Shunning took the initiative and confessed his long-standing feelings for Xiao Jiang. Before she could formulate any response, their colleagues arrived, insisting on a group game, thereby suspending the crucial conversation. The vacation concluded, and the office swiftly became a fertile ground for rumors speculating about a romantic involvement between Gu Jakin and Xiao Jiang. Infuriated by the gossip, Li Yan confronted Xiao Jiang in her cabin, where Gu Jakin was also present. He intervened, firmly escorting Li Yan outside. There he delivered a blunt clarification, stating unequivocally that nothing was transpiring between him and Xiao Jiang, and that he did not harbor any romantic feelings for Li Yan. Li Yan, however, remained entrenched in a self-constructed fantasy where Gu Jakin's affection was assumed, and his eventual capitulation was inevitable. Gu Jakin patiently explained that love cannot be dictated by one party alone, a truth that left Li Yan deeply wounded. In a parallel development, Gu Jakin sought counsel from Jung, revealing that while Shunning had confessed to Xiao Jiang, she had yet to give him an answer. With heartfelt sincerity, Gu Jakin confessed his own profound affection for Xiao Jiang, admitting how pained he was by Shunning's proposal. Jung, slightly taken aback, offered straightforward advice. If his feelings were genuine, he too should propose. Inspired, Gu Jakin began devising a uniquely personal way to declare his love. Meanwhile, Xiao Jiang confided in Chen Jiang about her confusion. Shunning, she acknowledged, was seemingly perfect for her, yet Gu Jakin's proposal had stirred unfamiliar and powerful emotions within her, leaving her paralyzed with indecision. Chen Jiang suggested a test of character. The one who truly loved her would continue to strive for her heart even in the face of potential rejection. The following day, Xiao Jiang attended a wedding with Shunning. Consumed by jealousy, Gu Jakin arrived at the event impeccably dressed. His sudden appearance visibly startled Xiao Jiang. Not to be outdone, when Xiao Jiang and Shunning posed for a photograph with the bride, Gu Jakin seamlessly inserted himself into the frame next to Xiao Jiang. Later, both men posted their respective photos with Xiao Jiang on social media, fueling widespread speculation about a tumultuous love triangle. The office buzz intensified as colleagues recalled Xiao Jiang's public declaration that she would find a boyfriend within 3 months, a deadline that was now fast approaching. Amidst this romantic turmoil, other relationships evolved. Chen Jiang had dinner with Wet, who presented her with a necklace engraved with a code revealing her birth date, a gesture that delighted her as he fastened it around her neck. In another moment of endearing awkwardness, Gu Jakin was found waiting outside Xiao Jiang's apartment, pretending to exercise upon her arrival. In a bid to spend time with her, he later took her for a swimming lesson, which they both thoroughly enjoyed. Their departure was delayed by some of Gu Jakin's friends, forcing Xiao Jiang to leave alone. Tragedy struck later when Gu Jakin was involved in a minor car accident, resulting in injuries that required a brief hospital stay. Meanwhile, Xiao Jiang traveled to Shunning's farm for a business gathering. In a manipulative yet transparent attempt to garner her sympathy, Gu Jakin posted a seriously staged photo from his hospital bed online. The ploy worked. Xiao Jiang, seeing the image, grew deeply worried. However, being far away, she asked Jung to check on him. Jung visited and inadvertently revealed that Xiao Jiang was away on business with Shunning. This news spurred the injured Gu Jakin to impulsively leave the hospital and travel to the farm. His arrival was comically disastrous, culminating in him falling into a chicken coop. As he hid behind a tree to avoid being seen by Xiao Jiang and Shunning, his cover was blown when Shunning, chasing chickens, collided with him. To salvage his pride and elicit concern, Gu Jakin exaggerated his injuries. Xiao Jiang, concerned, insisted he rest. He ended up staying in Shunning's room, where Shunning pointedly told him to abandon his childish antics to impress Xiao Jiang. This exchange sparked a tacit competition between the two men over who would ultimately win Xiao Jiang's heart. When Xiao Jiang and Shunning later drove Gu Jaken back to the hospital, he asked to speak with her privately. Li Yan intercepted, pulling Xiao Jiang aside to admonish her, claiming she was unworthy of Gu Jaken as she had prioritized work over visiting him after his accident. Further complication arose when Gu Jaken's mother summoned Xiao Jiang. She candidly advised that her son, a fun-loving and seemingly unserious man, was mismatched with the diligent and earnest Xiao Jiang. Saddened but resigned, Xiao Jiang resolved to maintain a strictly professional relationship with Gu Jaken. The next day, office whispers about a rivalry between Xiao Jiang and Li Yan for Gu Jaken's affection further upset Xiao Jiang. Gu Jaken confronted her in her cabin with a contract, provocatively stating that she and Shunning were like emotionless robots and demanding she choose between them. Before she could answer, an interruption forced her to leave, the question hanging in the air. Soon after, Gu Jaken's mother took him on an extended business trip to deepen his understanding of the company. His absence left a noticeable void for Xiao Jiang, which Jung observed. Upon his return, however, Xiao Jiang began pointedly ignoring him. Hurt, Gu Jaken reciprocated the coldness. Li Yan, seeing an opportunity, publicly professed her love to Gu Jaken with a gift, drawing cheers from onlookers. Xiao Jiang, arriving on the scene, scolded Li Yan for causing a disturbance. In a move designed to provoke Xiao Jiang, Gu Jaken took Li Yan's hand and walked away, creating the illusion he had accepted her proposal. Reflecting on his feelings, Gu Jaken visited a friend in the hospital and declared his intention to mature permanently for Xiao Jiang, to join the company seriously, and to become a man capable of understanding and making her happy. The following day, he attended a high-stakes meeting with his mother, delivering a polished and impressive presentation that demonstrated his newfound dedication. He continued to exhibit this mature demeanor around Xiao Jiang. When her laptop malfunctioned during a critical task, he skillfully repaired it, their proximity in the moment charged with unspoken tension. The company later hosted a love market event, which faced a crisis when the scheduled singer canceled. As Xiao Jiang panicked, Gu Jaken took the stage, delivering a surprise musical performance that captivated everyone. As he sang, his eyes locked with Xiao Jiang, and he reminisced about their shared memories. After his performance, as Shunning tried to approach Xiao Jiang, Gu Jaken smoothly intercepted and led her away. The event descended into a minor altercation between two guests. Gu Jaken attempted to intervene and was caught in the middle. Li Yan rushed to his aid but was pushed, sustaining a head injury. Shunning promptly carried her to safety. After Li Yan was treated, Shunning returned to Xiao Jiang seeking a definitive answer to his proposal. Her quiet sorry confirmed his rejection. Elsewhere, Chen Jiang was distraught to discover her private divorce had become public knowledge, threatening the reputation of the Link Company, for whom she was a model. She angrily confronted Wet, who denied any involvement. The situation worsened with the arrival of Seju, a formidable figure who immediately removed Xiao Jiang from the Love Note project, made disparaging remarks about Chen Jiang, and cancelled the project's contract with her. Chen Jiang, seeking answers, went to her ex-husband only to find his company bankrupt. He revealed he had orchestrated the divorce to shield her from his financial ruin, a sacrifice that left Chen Jiang heartbroken and remorseful for misjudging him. Seju's takeover created a hostile environment at Link Company. She even confiscated Xiao Jiang's office, forcing her to work in the open area. Gu Jaken, steadfast in his support, vowed to help her through the ordeal. Together, they investigated the leak of Chen Jiang's divorce. Li Yan, showing unexpected solidarity, informed Shunning of Xiao Jiang's demotion and asked for his help. Chen Jiang reconciled with her husband, clearing their misunderstandings and reuniting. This positive resolution promised to rehabilitate her public image, and by extension benefit the company. Xiao Jiang and Gu Jaken, working late into the night, were thrilled by this development. However, Chen Jiang later called Xiao Jiang to announce she would step down as the Love Note app's brand ambassador, wishing to separate her personal life from her public role. Xiao Jiang, as a true friend, supported her decision. In a subsequent meeting, Seju attempted to humiliate Xiao Jiang by insinuating her success was due to her association with Gu Jaken. Enraged, Gu Jaken stood before the entire assembly and defended Xiao Jiang's professional merit. He also publicly admitted his own unrequited feelings for her, declaring he would not tolerate any slander against her. He then took Xiao Jiang's hand and led her out. Shortly after, in a shocking move, Xiao Jiang announced her resignation from the company to take an indefinite vacation. The news devastated everyone, especially Gu Jaken. Determined, he told her he would not remain at the company if she was not there either. The next day, Gu Jaken began shadowing Xiao Jiang everywhere, from the gym to various errands, his concern manifesting as persistent companionship. Exasperated, Xiao Jiang fabricated a pregnancy to attend a women-only yoga class, successfully evading him. However, her ruse was discovered and she was ejected from the class. Returning home, she faced further demoralization from her critical father, who visited solely to find fault with her life choices. His disapproval intensified when he discovered Gu Jakin in her apartment, leading to a heated argument before he stormed out. To lift her spirits, Gu Jakin presented a surprise game he had designed specifically to dispel her negativity. Playing together, they shared laughter and joy. He confessed he had been following her out of deep worry and that she held the foremost place in his heart. After he left, his words filled her with a warm happiness. Shunning, having accepted Xiao Zhang's rejection, met Li Yan to say goodbye as he was leaving the city to advance his career. In her excitement, Li Yan hugged him fiercely, accidentally causing him a back injury. She took him to the hospital, where a doctor mistakenly assumed she was his girlfriend and instructed her to care for him. In another subplot, Kai Hung left for a job promotion in another city, leaving an emotional Jung to pack his belongings. He promised to visit soon, but his absence left her feeling profoundly lonely. Chen Jiang invited Xiao Zhang to a family dinner, but Xiao Zhang declined, choosing instead a solitary trip to view cherry blossoms and reflect. As she stood before a wish tree, Gu Jakin, secretly sent by Chen Jiang, appeared, offering himself as a bodyguard. Xiao Zhang requested solitude and he respectfully withdrew. She later fell asleep under a tree, and Gu Jakin, watching over her, gently covered her with his jacket and slept nearby. Waking to find him there filled her with a sense of peace. He then whisked her away on a helicopter tour. When a mechanical issue sparked fears of a crash, Xiao Zhang, believing these might be their final moments, began to confess her hidden feelings. Gu Jakin calmly reassured her, and through his composure and coordination with ground control, he managed a safe landing. Overwhelmed with relief and clarity, Xiao Zhang embraced him and poured out her heart. She confessed her long-suppressed love, admitting she had distanced herself due to perceived incompatibility, but now realized her mistake and trusted him completely, wishing to share her future with him. Overjoyed, Gu Jakin kissed her, sealing their mutual confession. In a sweetly humorous epilogue, Gu Jakin discovered a child-sized bed in a beautifully decorated room Xiao Zhang had prepared for him, her playful tease about his sleeping arrangements both shocking and amusing him. Later, as she showered, he attempted to join her and, after being refused, placed a fake snake on her bed to scare her into seeking his protection. Xiao Zhang, however, saw through the trick. When Gu Jakin went to shower, she placed the snake on his bed instead, giving him a fright that sent him leaping onto hers. She then presented him with a heartfelt surprise, tickets to revisit all the places meaningful to their journey together, proving her feelings had been growing for just as long. Their love firmly established, they shared a kiss and drifted to sleep, united at last. Meanwhile, Jung, grappling with the emptiness of her apartment without Kai Hung, called him to express how much she missed him. At that very moment, a knock at the door revealed Kai Hung himself, who had returned to surprise her, leading to a joyful reunion and a dinner date that promised a rekindling of their own connection. The dawning light ushered in a new chapter, vividly illustrating the solidified bond between Gu Jakin and Xiao Zhang. In a parallel restoration of happiness, Chen Jiang and her husband had reconciled fully, resuming their shared life as if the painful interlude of separation had never occurred. For the new couple, the morning unfolded with simple, intimate rituals, brushing their teeth side by side in companionable silence, then embarking on an invigorating cycling excursion through scenic paths. Their shared enjoyment of this effortless camaraderie was, however, interrupted by an urgent call from Xiao Zhang's office. A distressed employee informed her that Seju had issued an impossible ultimatum: complete a daunting task or face mass termination. Without a moment's hesitation, Xiao Zhang's sense of responsibility overrode her vacation. She immediately organized an online meeting, ready to marshal her team. The virtual reunion was filled with warmth as her colleagues expressed their delight at seeing her and Gu Jakin together, though their joy was tempered by deep concern for the Love Note app's future under Seju's hostile oversight. Xiao Zhang, demonstrating her innate leadership, calmly navigated the crisis, collaboratively brainstorming solutions with her team late into the night. As they worked, Gu Jakin pointed out a romantic photo shoot of a married couple happening nearby, whispering that he envisioned their own wedding pictures captured with similar joy. Xiao Zhang, feigning nonchalance, teased that she would still need to contemplate whether to marry him, a playful remark that belied the depth of her feelings. Tranquility was shattered the next morning when Gu Jakin received a panic call from his manager. His mother had suffered a heart attack. The couple abandoned their vacation instantly, rushing to the hospital. In a private moment, his mother, weakened but resolute, implored him to honor his father's legacy by taking the helm of the company, forsaking his dream of professional bike racing to guide the business to new heights. Witnessing her vulnerable state, Gu Jakin acquiesced but attached a crucial condition. He would assume this role only if he could bring Xiao Zhang back to the company as his indispensable partner and guide. He confessed his anxiety about this monumental shift to Xiao Jiang, who responded with unwavering support, promising to stand by him and provide the guidance he needed to succeed in the corporate world. True to his word, Gu Jiakin swiftly arranged a company meeting upon their return. He announced that due to his mother's hospitalization, he was stepping in as temporary president. Furthermore, he declared that Xiao Jiang was reinstated as general manager, her expertise critical to steering the company through this transition. This news visibly angered Seju, who harbored a clear disdain for Xiao Jiang. Outside the meeting room, however, the wider team erupted in celebratory relief, overjoyed to have their effective leaders back. Meanwhile, Chen Jiang, adapting to a more modest lifestyle with her husband, was photographing her collection of expensive purses to sell online for extra income. She hastily hid them when her husband returned, sharing a simple home-cooked meal that spoke volumes of their renewed commitment to each other. Back at the office, Gu Jiakin struggled to focus on the unfamiliar corporate workload. Xiao Jiang encouraged him, assuring him that passion for the work would follow dedication. He drew her closer, confessing that while he might learn to love the work, he would always love her more. This tender moment was intruded upon by Li Yan, who requested a private word. Once alone, Li Yan revealed she had joined the company solely for him, and now, seeing him happily paired with Xiao Jiang, she intended to resign. Gu Jiakin, recognizing her professional talent and value to the company, urged her to reconsider, praising her performance. Flattered by his acknowledgement, Li Yan's spirits lifted, and she decided to stay. The office dynamics grew more complex the following day with the arrival of Anna, a strikingly beautiful woman and a longtime friend of Gu Jiakin. Anna immediately assumed a familiar tone, asking Xiao Jiang to fetch coffee for her and Gu Jiakin before whisking him away to his office. Li Yan wasted no time in fueling Xiao Jiang's insecurity, slyly suggesting Anna was an old girlfriend. Consumed by jealousy, Xiao Jiang deliberately overloaded Anna's coffee with sugar. Delivering the drinks, she saw Anna positioned uncomfortably close to Gu Jiakin, who then assigned Xiao Jiang an office task, effectively dismissing her. Furious, Xiao Jiang stormed out. When Gu Jiakin tasted the sickly sweet coffee, he instantly understood the silent protest. Xiao Jiang, meanwhile, sat fuming at her desk, her imagination running wild, until she let out a frustrated shout that startled the entire office. Gu Jiakin, now aware of her distress, came to soothe her, explaining Anna was a potential investor from a corporation their financially strained company desperately needed. Still uneasy, Xiao Jiang sought counsel from Chen Jiang, who advised vigilance. Heeding this, Xiao Jiang began spending more time around Gu Jiakin's office, only to discover that his schedule was densely packed with meetings with Anna for the coming days. Her jealousy flared anew when Gu Jiakin canceled their dinner, citing a friend's birthday party. Later, when he stepped away leaving his phone with her, a notification for a hotel room booking popped up on the screen. Xiao Jiang's suspicion crescendoed into conviction. That night she followed Gu Jiakin, her heart sinking as she saw him not at a birthday party but meeting Anna. The sight of them entering a hotel room together ignited a fury of painful assumptions. She called Chen Jiang, recounting the scene and summoning her for moral support. The two women boldly stormed into the hotel room, only to find Gu Jiakin surrounded by friends celebrating an actual birthday. Anna was nowhere in sight. Quick thinking, Xiao Jiang and Chen Jiang burst into a cheerful birthday song to cover their embarrassing intrusion. Confronting Gu Jiakin afterward, Xiao Jiang demanded the truth about his relationship with Anna, mentioning she had seen them together. Gu Jiakin explained that Anna was temporarily staying at the hotel, their meeting was coincidental, and he had only pretended to be her boyfriend to deter some men who were bothering her. He stressed their history was purely platonic, rooted in a university favor where Anna helped him with homework. Xiao Jiang remained skeptical, forcing Gu Jiakin to unveil a graver truth. Ever since Chen Jiang's divorce scandal went public, the Love Note app had been plunged into severe financial loss. The company was now in a crisis, and the only way to save the corporate headquarters might be to sell the app. Anna's corporation was a potential buyer. However, Gu Jiakin confessed his true desire was not to sell, but to revitalize the app into a new version with a special partner, Xiao Jiang herself. This revelation transformed Xiao Jiang's jealousy into pride and admiration for his dedication. Their resolve was tested when Jung called, reporting that rumors of the app's imminent sale had been virally leaked on the company's media account. Xiao Jiang publicly dismissed these as baseless rumors, while privately she and Gu Jiakin frantically wondered about the source of the leak. Their primary suspicion fell on Anna as she was involved in the sale discussions. Gu Jiakin made a solemn promise to Xiao Jiang he would protect the Love Note app. In a poignant echo of the past, he recalled how his mother had built the company for the love of his father, and now he was determined to save this app for the love of Xiao Jiang. The next day, the leaked rumor had infected the entire office, causing widespread anxiety among the team who had poured their souls into the app. Xiao Jiang addressed them with fierce determination, vowing to fight the sale and secure the app's future. Gu Jiakin concurrently confronted Anna, who denied being the leak. This confirmed their fears: a spy was within their own company. The culprit was soon uncovered by chance when Xiao Jiang, bumping into Seju in the hallway, caused a media company's business card to fall from Seju's documents. It was the same firm that had leaked Chen Jiaying's divorce news. The puzzle pieces snapped together. Seju was the saboteur. Armed with this knowledge, Xiao Jiang informed Gu Jiakin, and they resolved to investigate Seju fully. Seeking strategic advice, they joined Chen Jiaying for a family dinner. Chen Jiaying proposed a brilliant counter-strategy. She would make a public comeback, launching the new version of the Love Note app by integrating her authentic love story and reconciled life with her husband. Offering a narrative of redemption and real-life romance that would captivate users. The team rallied around this vision, working tirelessly for a week to craft a compelling proposal. Gu Jiakin presented this revitalized plan to Anna. He framed it around the story of Xiao Jing, a woman once dedicated solely to work, who learned the meaning of love through a patient partner, illustrating that real connection requires no manual, a philosophy the new app would embody. Anna, deeply impressed by the concept's authenticity and market potential, approved the funding for the new version. In a crucial side development, Li Yan, proving her loyalty, visited the recuperating Shunning. She presented him with concrete evidence, a voice recording exposing the company spy, thereby fully clearing her name and demonstrating her commitment to her colleagues. With Seju's treachery exposed and the new app launch secured, Gu Jiakin and Xiao Jiang shared a moment of triumphant relief and happiness, sealing their victory with a kiss. Li Yan arrived to confirm their findings, revealing Seju's motive. Her husband's bankruptcy had driven her to sabotage the company for personal financial gain. Gu Jiakin and Xiao Jiang expressed genuine gratitude for Li Yan's investigative work. As these corporate battles concluded, Gu Jiakin's mother had made a full recovery and was preparing to leave the hospital. She received a message from her son, eager to share his new business plan. Upon learning of his diligent and successful efforts to save the company and the Love Note app, she devised a benevolent ruse. Deciding to extend her convalescence, she pretended to still be unwell, believing that a little more perceived pressure would help her son fully blossom into the capable leader she now saw him becoming. Her pride in his growth, both professionally and personally, was the truest sign of her healing. Following the resolution of the corporate conspiracy, a period of reconciliation and forward momentum began. Gu Jiakin, now accompanied by Xiao Jiang, visited his mother in the hospital to formally present their comprehensive strategy for the Love Note app's revival and the company's stabilized future. Observing the seamless synergy between them, the way they finished each other's sentences and presented a united front, his mother was transported back through time. She vividly recalled the early days of her own partnership with Gu Jiakin's father, building the company from the ground up with that same blend of personal devotion and professional drive. Moved by this echo of her own history, she asked to speak with Xiao Jiang privately. In this candid conversation, Xiao Jiang, with quiet strength, expressed that Gu Jiakin had taught her the meaning of authentic love. She affirmed that regardless of his mother's initial reservations, her commitment to him was unwavering. Furthermore, she advocated passionately for Gu Jiakin's neglected dream, revealing his deep-seated passion for competitive bike racing. This heartfelt defense, coupled with Xiao Jiang's evident integrity, finally won his mother over. She not only gave their relationship her full blessing but also, in a gesture of profound understanding, released Gu Jiakin from the corporate shackles, granting him permission to pursue his athletic ambitions. Emerging from the room, Xiao Jiang found Gu Jiakin waiting anxiously. He spoke of a newfound clarity regarding his mother, revealing that stepping into her professional shoes had made him realize her past absence was not neglect, but a sacrifice. Every decision was made with his future security in mind. Unbeknownst to him, his mother overheard this mature reflection from a short distance away, her heart swelling with a mix of relief and immense pride. Her son had not only taken up responsibility but had also gained the empathy to comprehend her struggles. This personal growth was soon mirrored by professional housecleaning. In a decisive company meeting, Gu Jiakin moved to expose and fire Seju for her treachery. Initially, he faced resistance from staff who demanded irrefutable proof. At this critical juncture, his mother made a dramatic entrance, fully recovered and brandishing the concrete evidence needed, financial records and communications that laid bare Seju's plot to sink the company for personal profit. With Seju officially dismissed, his mother then delivered a stunning second announcement. She was firing Gu Jiakin from his position as temporary president. This was not a punishment but a liberation. She explained that the company was now stable, and it was time for him to be released to follow his true calling. Overwhelmed with emotion, Gu Jiakin embraced his mother, offering a long overdue apology for his past rebelliousness and misinterpretation of her love. It was a moment of profound healing for their family. To celebrate this dual victory over corporate sabotage and personal misunderstandings, Gu Jakin treated Xiao Jiang and all his loyal colleagues to a festive dinner. The evening culminated in a lighthearted game of Truth or Dare, where, under the gentle coercion of the game, both he and Xiao Jiang shyly recounted their earliest moments of attraction, much to the delight of their friends. As a final symbol of support, Xiao Jiang presented Gu Jakin with a gift that moved him to tears: his beloved racing bike, Alice, which his mother had kept safely stored all these years. His joy was uncontainable. He kissed Xiao Jiang passionately, and they rode off together on the bike, a perfect image of shared freedom and aligned dreams. Their lives then settled into a new, supportive rhythm. Each morning they would part ways, Xiao Jiang to lead the company with renewed vigor, and Gu Jakin to dedicate himself fully to intensive racing training. Even at the track, his thoughts were with her. He discreetly hired Jung to be his eyes and ears at the office, ensuring Xiao Jiang was well and receiving constant updates. Touched by his care, Xiao Jiang had their names intricately painted on his racing helmet, a talisman he wore with immense pride. However, his training hit a psychological roadblock at a particular treacherous turn on the track, the same corner where his close friend had suffered a catastrophic accident. His coach pointed out that he was consistently making errors there, a mental block that could jeopardize his entire racing career. The fear was palpable, rooted in trauma. While Gu Jakin grappled with this, Xiao Jiang was orchestrating Chen Jiang's public comeback. On a popular talk show, Chen Jiang faced a barrage of harsh criticism but met it with stunning grace and vulnerability. She delivered a powerful speech about her entire journey, her struggles, her transformation, and most importantly, her choice to bravely embrace true love and reconciliation. Her message that self-acceptance is the foundation for finding real love resonated deeply, winning over the audience and effectively rehabilitating her public image. After the show, a weary but triumphant Xiao Jiang called Gu Jakin. He picked her up on his bike and they rode through the night, a moment of quiet intimacy. Li Yan witnessed their departure, feeling a pang of loneliness and longing for a similar connection. Her solace came unexpectedly from Shunning, who, sensing her mood, invited her to dinner, hinting at a new beginning for them as well. That night, Gu Jakin confided in Xiao Jiang about his friend's accident and his paralyzing fear that, should something happen to him, she and his mother would be left to suffer. Xiao Jiang, ever his anchor, refused to let him dwell in fear. She insisted he trust in his own skill and focus on the race ahead, not on potential disasters. Her unwavering faith became his psychological armor. The crescendo of their separate endeavors arrived simultaneously: the launch day for the new version of the Love Note app and the date of Gu Jakin's championship race. Xiao Jiang promised she would be there for his start. On the pivotal day, as her team prepared for a live-streamed launch event, Xiao Jiang made a surprising directive. She asked them to pack up the equipment and relocate. Meanwhile, at the racetrack, a tense Gu Jakin sat alone in a corner, his focus fragmented by her absence. Just as his doubt peaked, Xiao Jiang arrived with the entire office team in tow, having moved the live stream to the racetrack itself. Beaming with pride, she began the broadcast by addressing her earlier very public vow to find a boyfriend. She declared to the world that she had not only found him but was there to watch him race, and that she loved him deeply. This public declaration infused Gu Jakin with a surge of confidence. The race commenced. Gu Jakin started strong, but as he approached the fateful turn, his trauma resurfaced violently when another racer crashed in a horrifying mirror of his friend's accident. The sight triggered flashbacks and fears for his family, yet in that moment of crisis, he recalled Xiao Jiang's words, her trust, her love. He forced his focus back to the present, navigated the turn with precision and newfound courage, reclaimed the lead and crossed the finish line as the champion. The victory was as much emotional as it was physical. Their reunion was electric with joy. Celebrating with his racing team, Gu Jakin introduced Xiao Jiang not just as his girlfriend, but as the person who taught him to embrace a new, fuller life. He then shared breathtaking news. His win had earned him a coveted spot on the world-renowned Marie racing team. Xiao Jiang's pride was immediately tempered when he revealed the condition. It required a 6-month training stint abroad. Though her heart sank at the prospect of separation, she fiercely suppressed her own sadness, insisting he seize this opportunity without any worry. In the flurry of preparations, a charming misunderstanding arose. While staying at Xiao Jiang's apartment, Gu Jakin, tasked with arranging flowers, stumbled upon a pregnancy test. His mind leaped to a joyful conclusion, believing Xiao Jiang was carrying their child. He was elated at the thought of becoming a father but also thrown into a panic, realizing he hadn't even formally proposed. The next day, under the pretense of a party with friends, he secretly began orchestrating an elaborate plan. Yong, in on the scheme, lured Xiao Jiang to the company rooftop under the guise of a farewell party. What she found instead was a breathtakingly decorated proposal scene, centered around the cactus he had once given her, a symbol of their resilient love. Gu Jakin, nervous and hopeful, asked for her hand in marriage. Xiao Jiang, however, gently refused. She clarified the misunderstanding. The test belonged to Chen Jiang, who had hidden it there as a surprise for her husband. More importantly, Xiao Jiang confessed she needed more time to be ready for marriage. Her rejection, though soft, left Gu Jakin dejected. The following day brought a poignant closure as Shunning visited Xiao Jiang to bid a final goodbye before moving abroad permanently. His departure marked the definitive end of that chapter. Later, Gu Jakin, still hurt, sought clarification about her refusal. Xiao Jiang reiterated she simply hadn't yet envisioned herself getting married. Seeking advice, Gu Jakin and Jung turned to Chen Jiang. She suggested a gentle strategy. Gu Jakin should integrate himself into Xiao Jiang's daily life, allowing her to grow accustomed to a shared domestic reality. Taking this to heart, Gu Jakin concocted a reason to move into her apartment. He began making her breakfast, helping her get ready for work, and silently vowing not to leave for training until she said yes. Their bond deepened through small, meaningful moments like shopping for baby items for Chen Jiang. During this errand, they temporarily cared for a lost little boy. When the child was reunited with his father, he pointed at Xiao Jiang and said he wanted a wife as beautiful as Gu Jakin's when he grew up. This innocent remark seemed to unlock something in Xiao Jiang. Shortly after, she told Gu Jakin she wanted to introduce him to her parents, a clear signal she was seriously envisioning a future with him. The meeting was a success. Gu Jakin's sincere efforts to charm and care for her parents won them over completely. Around them, love continued to blossom. Kai Hung, despite his modest means, proposed to Jung with a promise of devoted care, which she happily accepted. Meanwhile, as Gu Jakin's departure date loomed, Xiao Jiang discovered his packed bags and was overcome with emotion. He assured her he understood her need for time and was willing to wait, a testament to his mature love that deeply touched her. The day of his departure was emotionally charged. 6 months of separation followed, each pursuing their pinnacle, Gu Jakin in rigorous international training, and Xiao Jiang in steering the Love Note app to award-winning success. Their worlds reconverged at a prestigious industry awards ceremony, where Xiao Jiang was to be honored for creating the year's best app. In a stunning twist, Shunning was the presenter. As Xiao Jiang took the stage to accept the award, she hijacked the ceremony. Instead of a speech, she played a video, a labor of love compiled over 6 months. It was a montage of her visiting every significant location from their love story, each frame a love letter. The video culminated with an appearance from his fully recovered friend Kong Zai, who added his voice to the plea. The final message was a public marriage proposal from Xiao Jiang to Gu Jakin. The emotional crescendo brought the entire audience to tears. Gu Jakin, overwhelmed, joined her on stage where she placed a ring on his finger, uniting them forever in front of their world. The concluding scenes offered a glimpse of harmonious futures for all. Lian found companionship and love with Shunning. Jung and Kai Hung radiated happiness in their engaged life. In a final, symbolic act of partnership and the closing of a circle, Xiao Jiang, having obtained her driver's license, gave Gu Jakin a ride on his own bike, with him sitting behind her, trusting her to lead the way, just as they had learned to lead and support each other through every turn of their remarkable journey.